Hey everybody, it's Jay from Bullshit Corner and welcome to today's video. And today we are going to work on changing the differential fluid out of your Jeep rear end. It's got a Dana 35 rear end and it's easily identified by that there's no drain plug, which is stupid. There's only a fucking rubber plug. And this rubber plug, you can either fill or drain from it, or you can remove the bolts and drain it that way. So I'm not going to go through that hassle of pulling it apart. I'm just going to fucking pull the plug, use an extractor, extract as much as I can out, and then use a pump to pump fluid back in. So, how are we going to identify the rear end in the back if it's a limited slip differential or not? Easy, we're going to stick the vehicle neutral, we're going to jack it up. If I turn one wheel forward and the other wheel goes forward, it is a limited slip differential, which means I'm going to have to go out and get some special lube for the rear end, but I'm guessing 100% that it's not just a regular rear end. And I spin the wheel, the other one's going to go the opposite way, and I'm just going to put regular gear oil back in. So before I get my coveralls on, we get to work, got to open up a fucking beer. No project can be started unless there's beer in hand. Alright, so I got her up on jacks now. I'm going to spin the tire. And if it's not a limited slip, the other one will just spin backwards. See? It's like I said. One spins the opposite direction, so it's not a limited slip differential. One spins the opposite way. Our next step is to remove the plug. I just use a flathead screwdriver like that. Pops out really easy. It's not even all that bad. I thought it would have been a whole lot fucking dirtier than that. Everything else was black in this truck. Stick my little tube in there. So we got the fluid all pumped out, now extracted with a pump. And it's always a good practice to remove the pumpkin and inspect your rear end when you change the fluid. That way you can see if there's anything happening inside, foresee any damages. But since I'm going to be going for a gear change within the next year, I'm not worried about what's going to happen here. So I'm just going to leave it at that. But if you ever want to know what kind of gears you got, if you have an axle tag, I doubt you're going to be able to see that, but there'll be a 373 right there. I don't know if you're going to see that on camera, but that is just my gear ratio in my Jeep, 373 on my Dana 35. And Dana 35s are easily identified, like I said, by the rubber plug. Most gear type oils come in a jug that you can just squeeze in. I'm going to use a hand pump with mine. I'm going to use 75 140. Like I said, mine is a high mileage Jeep, so I'm going to use a little heavier oil in it. And it should take about 2 liters to fill it up. When it starts coming out like that, you know it's full. Push your cap back in. That's it. That's all you gotta do. Beer. Well, that was another project that went well. Changing the differential fluid with a pump. Took me about 15 minutes. Extract it, put it in. Now, if you want to do it the proper way, if you want to inspect your carrier and everything else, you would remove all your bolts around the pumpkin, and then you would use like a soft rubber mallet. And you want to kind of use something to kind of pry under it, but you don't want to fucking hammer like a screwdriver or chisel between the carrier and your cover on the back, because you don't want to damage it. Because if you bend it or if you damage it in any way, it's going to create an actual leak point. So once you get the cover off, you want to clean everything out, all your oil and everything. And I'm going to give this to you guys as a tip, and it's an absolute must. When you go to reseal it now, if you're using a gasket, you can get away with it. But if you're going to use a silicone gasket, your faces have to be absolutely clean. If you have oil kind of moist on your carrier, or if you got oil that's kind of moist on the back of your cover and you go to seal it, it will not seal. It will always leak. So use a brake clean, use some sort of cleaner, whatever. Make sure both surfaces are 100% clean and dry before you use an RTV type silicone based gasket maker and seal it up. Anyways, that's my tip for today. I didn't even get a chance to finish this beer, but that fucking bug was about to enter my beer. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, post them below. Otherwise, check out my channel for other Jeep videos and maintenance. Cheers.